right, Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can the studio audience hear? No, I'm just kidding. I wish you were recording in the studio. Well, welcome to We Don't Give a Flip podcast, where reselling meets humor and the flips never stop. Tonight, we are joined by none other than the junk monkey himself, Mr. Rob. We
The
appreciate you
one and
so much.
only. They broke the mold,
Yeah.
thankfully.
We got one thing in common. We're both named Robert.
Awesome.
So we appreciate you coming on. And I don't know if, hopefully, if you guys can hear us okay, make sure you put it in the chat so that we can know that we're broadcasting okay. Um, so, Brandon, Christine, Gulf Coast pickers can't join us tonight, unfortunately. And Sean and Mel, West Virginia Panhandle pickers, are unfortunately under the weather. Amanda cannot make it tonight. And so it's going to be me and the Robs robbing it out. And we want to know all the things about Mr. Junk Monkey and how you got started in reselling. Mostly is what I'm interested in, and it's okay if it's a long story. I want to
It,
hear all
it
about it.
really is a really long story. I mean, we could go all the way back to the 70s.
Wow, you've been reselling that long, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. Both grandparents came through the Great Depression and World War II, the Korean War. They grew up and came through times where you saved everything. And one grandfather was a hoarder. If you needed something, he had it. The other set of grandparents, they used to take me and we would go down like old dirt roads in East Texas, like old logging roads, not even real roads. And we'd go look for people's trash that they would take to the woods and just dump. And we would dig through it and find things, load the car up. And then about once a month, twice a month, my grandparents on that side would have like this major yard sale. And I would have my own little table and I'd put all my little treasures on it. And anything I sold, that was my money.
Yeah.
But for the traditional reselling, like people know it today, I've really only been doing it 6 or 7 years. But I've been on eBay since late 97. And from that time until like
time.
6 or 7 years ago, yeah. Well, all I did was old watches, antique, vintage, and luxury watches. I'm a watchmaker by trade. And as I would accumulate watches, if I could fix them up and make them look presentable, I would put them on eBay and sell them. Always auction, never buy it now, because eBay wanted to charge me extra fee to put it on a buy it now. It's like, nah, I ain't doing that. I want my money fast. So I'm going to throw it on an auction and get paid. Well, 6, 7 years ago, I started making my own watches. I had my own brand, so to speak. It was custom building watches. I had one company that was making cases for me and another company that was making dials and hands for me. And then I was making the movements and then assembling everything and then just trying to find a band that would fit the watch. And the ones that I really, really, really liked for just a leather strap were $200. I'm like, I'm not paying $200 for a watch strap. I know I'm charging $1,500 for these watches, but I'm not paying $200 for a leather watch strap. And I was like, I'm a jack of all trades. I grew up having to do everything. We didn't pay anybody to do anything if we could do it ourselves. So I knew a little bit about leather working. So let me just refresh my memory and see what tools and stuff I'm going to need. I'll make these things myself. So the YouTube algorithm, there wasn't enough of what I wanted. So it just starts throwing other things at me and it's kept throwing shoe repair at me, leather shoe repair. It's just for giggles. Yeah, it's just like, what's that got to do with making a watch strap? Yeah. So I watched one of them and they're talking about re-dyeing them and polishing them up and doing this patina stuff to it. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. And the same guy, kept watching a few more of his videos. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Goodwill. I'm going to buy this pair of shoes and I'm going to fix them up real nice and I'm going to flip them back on eBay. I'm like, man, ain't nobody buying no used shoes. That's nasty. Who buys used shoes? Like,
everybody now.
Yeah. I was like, well, let me try it. So 3 blocks up the road is the nearest eBay or Goodwill. I go running in there, and there's a like new pair of Red Wing work boots.
Those are expensive.
Yeah, so I grabbed them. I think I paid $8 for them, and
wow,
I know how to do sold comps. I know how to research prices because people are constantly trying to sell me old watches and stuff. So I get on there and I'm looking them up, and everybody's trying to get $100 for them. I'm like, I paid $8 for them. Let me throw them up here for $50 just to see if they sell. Mm-hmm. They were listed less than an hour, and they sold for the $50.
Oh wow!
So I'm watching these videos, and next thing you know, I'm at Harry Tornado,
As always,
Tim Osborne to Thrift, Rally, all the older content creators that are resellers. Their stuff starts coming in. I'm like, I don't believe that one. Let me go down to the Goodwill, and I'd go in, and sure enough, that same item would be sitting there. I'd grab it and I'd take it back to the house. I'd list it, and it sold. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then bam, the pandemic hits, the shutdown hits. I'm like, man, I got to make some money. So I just went all in on eBay.
Nice.
I'm going out and I'm buying just carts full of stuff, anything and everything. I'm looking it up. I already knew how to research pricing, which I think gave me big leg up on a lot of the other people who were getting into it at the same time. Plus, I've been around eBay since the days where you had to wait on a check or a money order or even cash taped to a piece of paper in an envelope.
A promissory note.
No, they would actually, like, if it was change, if they sent exact change, they would like tape like the quarters and the nickels and the dimes and the pennies to the paper, and then put a couple of pieces of paper money in there, and they fold it up and they put it in an envelope and they mail it to you. There it is. Then you can package their stuff up and ship it out to them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So having a background in it, it kind of gave me a leg up. Now my current account is only 18 years old. I've been on it a lot longer than that. My first account was a shared account with a business partner I had at the time back in the late 90s. And when we went our separate ways amicably, the deal was I got the eBay account because I was the only one using it anyway. Well, I got to noticing that he was going in and doing things.
Oh, no.
On the account. And I'm like, that's not good. So I started another account. And then about the same time, I started a new job as a watchmaker at a major Rolex watch dealer. And I just didn't have time to keep up with it. By the time I got back to it, I had forgotten my login information. Oh. So I'm like, I tried and tried. 2-3 days goes by. I'm like, no, let me just start a new one. And that's the one I have to this day. But yeah, that's how I became a reseller.
Was it always Junk Monkey, or are you?
No, I came up with that one. Early on, I got to where the actual reselling content became less and less desirable for me to watch, because I know how to research stuff, and was getting very few ideas. And you do it all day long, and then you come home, you sit down, and you watch videos of the same thing. It's like, no, let me get over here and watch Puddin's Fab Shop build an old truck or something, or Vice Grip Garage. And anyway, but I still wanted to interact with other resellers, so live shows. And there were only a couple of us doing it back then, or a couple of them doing it back then. I started one later, but in one of them, I think it may have been Cat the Nurse Flipper, was telling people that you really need to come up with a name that's a good name, says who you are, what you are, and then go start accounts on every platform of every kind, whether it's social media or selling platforms. Even if you don't use them, go over there and create your account with your name on it. Build a brand around the name. And it took me a little while to come up with the name, and Junk Monkey was born kind of out of two things. One of them was back then there was this streaming show. It was an animated show. It was kind of in the flavor of Archer, but it was Hit Monkey. It was this monkey that became a hitman because he was running around with the ghost of a hitman. It was kind of a weird show, but it was kind of entertaining at the same time. And I was a fan of Gas Monkey Garage, Richard Raleigh.
I love that show, man.
Yeah,
Richard's awesome.
Yeah. So he's Gas Monkey, and then there's Hit Monkey, and I'm like Junk Monkey, and it was just like a flash of lightning. I'm like, that's it, Junk Monkey, and I went and just changed everything to Junk Monkey.
Yeah, the universe was trying to tell you, man, trying to lead
Yeah.
the way. Lead the way.
So
That's
that
awesome.
was probably, as far as content and having pages and channels and platforms that I sell on, I'm Junk Monkey across all of it. On Facebook, I've got a Junk Monkey Treasures page. I don't spend as much time on that page as I should right now, but I was trying to do too much at one time, getting all the content going. I've had my YouTube channel for a lot of years, but I don't know how to edit.
Okay.
I only, in the last few months, I just on a whim one night, I asked one of the AI programs, how do I take video with my iPhone and run the clips together to create one cohesive video?
Right.
And it told me, well, you need iMovie. So I uploaded iMovie onto my phone, and all I know how to do is to upload all the clips in order that I want them.
Yep.
And hit create movie.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
I don't know how to make a lot of channels have an intro. It plays music and little tiny clip. I don't know how to build one of those. I can't trim a clip. So whenever I make a video, it's me. It's in the raw. That's not scripted. Even my thumbnails. I don't know how to do thumbnails. I just go through the automated ones. And there's always some picture of me making a goofy smile or something. That's not posing. That's me caught in a moment.
Those are the best, I think. They're organic.
Yeah.
You know? I love it.
So I think a couple of times I may have took a still photo and uploaded them as a thumbnail, but it seems like the automated ones of me smiling or something, those videos always seem to hit a little better. So I've just been going with those.
This is why I like live broadcasting, because there's not too much. I mean, you could go back and edit, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the point of We Don't Give a Flip was to be like live, raw, and unedited, because we want people to see the real truths about reselling, you know, the ups, the downs, the indifferent. We want to make sure that people understand what they're getting into if this is like their first time, whether they're selling 5 minutes or 50 years, you know.
Early on in my attempts to make YouTube videos, I didn't know how to edit. I'd go either buy or download these programs, and they would just make me pull my hair out. I mean, you can tell how bad.
We have the same barber.
But somebody told me, no, that's the reason we like you, because you are raw and unedited and unpolished.
That's why I love your videos.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then also, I run across this old interview that I had seen before, and it reminded me, and I watched it again anyway, but it was some rock star talking about these kids today. They've got all these auto tune, all this computer stuff they can use. He says, you need to just get back to sucking. Get in the garage, get a couple of buddies, beat on the drums, and just suck at it.
Yeah.
Because everybody who's ever made it, eventually they started out sucking at it. And I thought, you know what? That's pretty good advice for my videos too. I'm just going to get on there. They're going to be raw. If they suck, they suck. I'm going to post them anyway. I'll get better as I go. You're never going to get to the other side of it if you don't start where you're at. So that's my idea of making my videos at this point in time is get out there, get it recorded, jam it together, put a title on it, and throw it out there. It'll either do good or it'll flop. I'll get better as I get better.
I think it's the value that we receive in your videos of what you're explaining. For example, I didn't know about the knurled bottom of a glass bottle, for example. I didn't know that was, you know, determines that it's modern.
Fairly modern thing. Yeah. Right. You'll never see that on quality glass. You'll never see that on a Fenton piece or a Murano piece or a Chalet or L.A. Smith bike. None of them do that. That knurling is part of the automated machining. It helps the machines grab the bottom of the piece and move it along or spin it or do whatever. I think in that same video I mentioned, if you pick up a colorful piece of glass, you can look at the bottom and see that it's got that knurling. but sometimes the light hits it and you can't tell if the bottom has color or not. So you look down through the top of the vase or the bottle, the jar, whatever it is. And if you can see all the way through the bottom of it is clear glass, but the rest of it is colored, you know, it's color flashed, which means the color was just spray painted onto it.
Oh, okay. That's important context because
it very much is. Now, color flashing is very, very old. It dates back to somewhere in the late 1890s. They call it ruby flashed glass. And it's because making ruby red glass 100+ years ago was not easy. So they come up with a way to just apply the ruby red color to the outside of clear glass. Then they would etch through it to put design on it.
Yeah.
So it was, you could have the look. It was the earliest dupes in glass, so to speak. You could have the look of ruby red glass without the price of it. And some of that very early ruby red flash glass is pretty expensive.
How can you tell an earlier piece from something that's newer for that ruby red? Is there a way of like discerning?
This is something I tell people a lot. Small items of quality have a look, a feel, and a heft that cheap modern knockoffs cannot duplicate. And the easiest way to develop a feel for it is to go to a high-end jewelry store, somebody that sells Rolex, Omega, the bigger name brands of watches.
Yeah.
And they almost always have a counter off to the side where they'll sell like Citizen or Seiko or Michael Kors or something like that. Go start out over there and just pick those watches up. Have them show you the watch and just handle them. Hold them in your hand. Give them a little shake. Feel how heavy they are. Feel how sharp the corners are. That kind of stuff. Then put that back and say, you know what? I've always wanted a Rolex. Let's go look at those. And then when they hand you one, you will immediately feel the difference. It's heavier, and not just because it's made of gold, and it's heavier because it's not full of hollow spots and it's not made of a spongy pot metal. And the corners, while they may be crisp, they're not sharp. It feels more dense. Quality just has a feel to it. And glass is the same way.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You pick up some glass and it's heavy, but it's only heavy because it's thick and it's clunky and it's not quite symmetrical, which is not always a bad thing. Something that's a little wonky,
cattywampus.
If it's a little cattywampus, sometimes if it's cattywampus in an eye-appealing manner, it can still be a decent piece. It may not be $400 or $500 piece of Murano or Lotes or something like that, but it could still be, instead of being a $8 to $12 piece, now it's an $18 to $24 piece, just because it has that. I think the Japanese have a term for it. I think we Westerners call it wabi sabi. I may have that term wrong. It's been a while, but it's something that's pleasingly not perfect.
Right.
But to get back to it, just because something's heavy doesn't mean it's quality. But if it looks good, it's the design elements are all there, and it's got that heft to it. It's not like eggshell thin or if it is heavy, is it heavy in the same way from one side to the other? Is the bottom of the vase flat, or is one side of it all kicked up?
Right. Yeah.
Or, one side of the lip is thick and the other side is thin. If you develop an eye for quality. When I'm out and I see something that I've never seen before and I have no experience with it, as soon as it catches my eye, there's something about it that catches my eye. I reach and I grab it. The instant I grab it and start to pick it up, I can almost already tell, this is something good. Let me look it up. It rarely ever turns out to be nothing.
I know that you mentioned signatures a lot of times. Is there like a top 5 list that you can think of off the top of your head, or is it just one of those things?
Signatures top 5. I'll see if I can come up with a few. Eckhart.
Okay.
Dave Fetty. Glass Eye Studio. A lot of times their signature is nothing more but a GES. Man, you caught me off guard with that one. It's just so many.
Because
Carrera.
I'm more curious about that, and also the labeling. I know you mentioned stickers. We'll get that in a second, but yeah, the signatures really were an interesting
Signatures
part.
are tough.
Yeah.
Glass and pottery artists are every bit as bad as doctors in their handwriting.
Oh, I can only
They're
imagine.
almost always indecipherable. However, some of the best out there, they're like Eckholt or Eichholt, however it's really pronounced. His signature is pretty easy to spot. But a lot of them, it's just this cursive scribble. And you're like, what in the world is that? So if you're a glass artist or pottery artist, you're out there, listen to me. Develop a legible signature or a mark.
Make your mark.
It's
yeah, my signature is I'm gonna say my handwriting's atrocious.
Mine is too.
I mentioned in the back show that
I'm the kettle black, but
I'm an engineer, so my handwriting's terrible.
If you find a piece of glass and it is signed, there are a ton of Facebook groups out there.
Okay.
Get a decent picture, play with the light angles and whatever, get the best picture you can of that signature, and go to all of the glass collecting groups on Facebook and ask for help. There's some really, really knowledgeable people out there.
So for glass picking, we'll just kind of button this one up. Would you say like you keep it under a certain price range when you're picking, or is it just about
really depends on what it is?
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
In the world of glass collecting, it's very much tied to home decor fashion.
Okay.
In that it is constantly changing. What was hot in the spring is not hot in the summer or the fall or the winter. Right now, there's a few colors of glass I won't pick up unless I just get them dirt cheap in order to hang on to them. Milk glass is not hot. Amber glass is not hot. The only green glass that is hot is the stuff that glows under a black light. Okay. And I think I got my keys in my pocket. Let me see. You can get on Amazon and you can buy these little black light LEDs lights.
Okay.
And they are wonderful. They're just a $3.95 and they're kind of weak. But if it's uranium glass or it has anything like selenium or cadmium in it that makes it glow, this will light it up. And you can buy like 30 or 40
right there.
$14.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Don't forget to check the clear glass because some clear glass glows. If it glows orange, it's cadmium. If it glows red or pink, it's selenium. If it's a pale green glow, it's manganese. If it's a bright green glow, it's uranium. And in fact, I got a piece right here. Let's see if I can
make it. Let me see if I can make you a little bit bigger here so we can see, get a bigger picture of you.
Let's see if we can. I got really bright lights in my shop, so I don't know if that's going to show as much more than just a.
Yeah, you can kind of see that it's.
Yeah. It's, in my eyes, here in real life, that thing is glowing like crazy.
Okay, that's good to know. That those tools exist, because that's a great tip to keep in your pocket when you're outsourcing. Yeah. I always ask people too, like when they're outsourcing. I usually think about things like after the fact. They need batteries and a screwdriver if I'm wanting to test something. That way I don't, because we shop a lot at the bins. I want to make sure stuff works before we head out, and pay for it. But yeah, any other tips like that, or besides the light? Do you carry anything else, like a Swiss Army knife?
No, I carry a pocket knife. Yeah. For glass, no, a light and your phone. I mean, you have the width and depth of man's knowledge right here in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's a lexicon of information at the.
It really is, but don't trust the first thing you find on here. Verify.
It's a liar.
Yeah, if you're using one of these, you use Google Lens and you point it at a piece of glass and you tap that button, and it comes up Murano. No, it's not. 9 times out of 10, it is not Murano. Google Lens works by way of seeing what other people have posted and called their item. So if you got 50 people out there calling a Chinese piece of glass Murano, and you find another one and you take a picture of it, it's going to tell you that it's Murano, even though it's not. If you're going to do glass, you need to spend some time in the Facebook glass collecting groups. You don't have to post a lot, ask questions, just pay attention to what other people are posting. Every time you see is this a Murano piece of glass, go see what the experts in there are saying. These days they got things like top contributor, group expert titles, and you can be like, okay, this person might know what they're talking about. And this one doesn't have a title beside their name. Let me scroll past their name. Yeah. But pay attention. One of the key things about Murano, it's not 100% all the time, but it is 98.7% all the time. Murano will always have a polished base. Okay. Perfectly polished base. You won't see little sanding marks below the polish. It'll be mirror finished on the bottom every time. If it's sanded or ground or frosty or milky, it's not Murano.
That's good. That's good to know. Yeah.
And here's something else. Just because it's Murano doesn't make it valuable.
Well, design has a lot to do, I would think, right?
Yeah. Well, I was telling you earlier that glass is, certain things are popular at any given time. And that market can change on the drop of a dime. It changes so fast. Last year, the glowy glass, the UV glass, the uranium glass, Vaseline, it goes by a lot of different names. Super hot. We had somebody come through the valley here where I live, hit every thrift store, every antique, man, they bought every stinking piece of uranium glass, bought it all. Whether it was overpriced or not, they bought it all. Right now, you can't really sell it for decent money. It's just not as hot as it was 6 months ago, a year ago. Same thing with swung vases. A swung vase is where they've got it attached to the pontoon and they get it hot, get the end of it hot, and then they swing the pontoon, the punt. It's a big steel rod. Right. And the glass is attached to the end of it. They get it hot and they swing it. And that causes the top of the vase to stretch out. And sometimes they'll spin it and it'll cause it to open up. I don't know if I've got, this is sort of it.
Okay.
In order to get a shape like this, they would be attached to the rod here. And they would get this portion of it hot. And then they would swing it. And this part would stretch out. And they would spin it. And then this part would spread out. And then they would have like these molds and stuff setting on a table. Just like this one would be 3 rods. And each one of these ruffles represents one of those rods. And then they would let the glass cool slightly. And then they would come in and put these little crimps in it. So this is not the greatest example. It's just what I had on hand. And that's what a swung vase is. And last year they were super hot. Even if it's a little 8-9 inch bud vase, if it was swung, you're going to get $30 to $50 for it. Right now, the only swung vases bringing decent money have to be 22 inches or taller. So if it's less than 22 inches, I personally would not pay more than $10 to $15 for it. Okay. Unless it's an extremely rare color and maker.
That's good advice. You call your channel when you're out picking treasure hunting. Yes. I enjoy that part.
Well, I am a treasure hunter. I have been all my life. From running those back roads with my grandparents. My dad was in the Navy and he was stationed down in China Lake Naval Weapons Station, which is out in the Mojave Desert of Central California. And on the weekends, this would be 1974, he would take us out to a place called Opal Canyon, which was at the time the only place in America where you could dig for precious opal, like the stuff they find down in Australia. Well, this deposit's a little different, but it's basically the same thing. It's a rock with flashy rainbow colors in it. So I started mining gemstones in 1974 at 4 years old. And my grandfather on my mom's side came out for a visit, and my grandmother. And we would go out, and he got really into it, and he bought some little gem shaping tools and stuff and equipment. And until one of my cousins broke it, he would play with those opals and grind them and sand them and make gemstones out of them. And so I kind of got into the gemstone thing because of that. And I'm not wearing it right now. I'd show you. That's kind of embarrassing. Here lately, my hands have taken to swelling a lot, so I don't wear my wedding band a lot. But mine and my wife's rings are made out of gold that I mined partially from a river just north of me.
Oh, wow. That's so awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm also a bench jeweler as well as a watchmaker. So I can do everything from go out into the wilderness, find the deposit, mine the deposit, and start with raw gold that I mined, raw gemstones that I bring home and cut and finish myself. And I start with the raw material and take it all the way to a finished product.
That's really helpful, especially with reselling. I mean, I would imagine like reselling, that must help you so much.
The gemstones, not well. With reselling, yeah,
it's just a knowledge of knowing what something is and not having to actually look. Like in the moment when you're at a garage sale or if you're at a thrift store, you don't have to break out your phone necessarily.
I don't do it all the time.
Right.
If I run across something I don't know, I'll pick it up. But even the stuff that I do know, I'll go ahead and put it in my cart or my bag or my basket, whatever I'm using at the time, whether it's a garage sale, estate sale, or whatever. I don't take the time to stop and look things up as I find them. I will find stuff, and then when I get a moment after I've looked around, then I'll look it up. Even if I know what it is, like I've said a couple of times before, markets change, and they can change fast. Examples, Pops, Funko Pops.
Oh, yeah.
1 minute they're red hot, the next minute you can't give them away.
Yeah, they're actually thinking about going out of business. If I think their quarterly stock thing wasn't very good, so they might actually go belly up here. So.
Yeah. Willow tree. Have you been around long enough in the reselling stuff that you remember the willow tree?
My wife has a nativity set right now on her.
Yeah,
on her thing.
They were red hot until they weren't, and it's like flipping a switch. Another one.
Precious moments, Ray Dunn.
Oh, well, Precious Moments. I don't think they ever had a. Now, here's the thing about Precious Moments. Don't poo-poo on them too much, because when you get a moment here on YouTube, look up, just do a search for altered moments.
Oh yeah, the artists.
There are people out there that take precious moments and then they take modeling clay or some kind of clay, and they completely redesign these pieces. And it's a big thing. So if you can stumble up on a large group of precious moments, dirt cheap, you can actually sell them all as a lot and just use the keywords altered moments in the title and the description. And you might be surprised at how much money you can make on them. Selling them individual as collectibles, no, but there is a market for them.
Yeah. I've seen everything from dollhouses that are transformed for Halloween, like scapes, those type of things. So there's a huge market for altering items. Fisher Price, little people.
Like Creepy Doll. Look up Creepy Doll on YouTube, especially in the months leading up right in front of Halloween. There are people out there, they buy old creepy looking dolls and they will make them even more creepy.
I find a lot of those at the bins. I just leave them there because they freak me out. But
I'm like, no, that thing's not coming to my house. I'm fresh out of holy water, so I'm not.
Pretty much.
Bring them home, put them in a box, and sprinkle some salt around them so they don't escape.
Yeah, exactly. You unleash Pandora's box there. Yeah.
There's almost always a market for something. You got any idea what that is? Let's see if I can get it.
See if I can make it big so we can all see. Let's see. Shark tooth. I'm guessing. I have no idea.
Nope. Close though.
Bullet. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the only legal source of ivory in America.
Oh, wow.
That's an elk's tooth.
Interesting.
And it's actually it's a very old one, probably antique, and it's from the Elks Lodge. It's just a little fob. You hang it off your pocket watch chain. I got a couple more of them just laying right here in front of me.
Let's take a look.
Here's a double. These probably both came out of the same elk, but those are elk's teeth. Not all the elk's teeth are ivory, just the last two in the back of the jaw. And for hundreds of years, people have used them to make decorative items out of. There's another in their Elks Lodge. These are called watch fobs. You would just hang them off of your pocket watch chain, which oftentimes a pocket watch chain can be worth more than the pocket watch.
That's good.
This one is Victorian. Take a wild guess what it's made out of.
I'm going to say sinew, some sort of animal. No?
That's a girl's hair. That's human hair.
Crazy. That's interesting, man.
It was a big thing in the Victorian times.
What do you think it was? What do you think it was about ivory, Rob, that made it so sought after?
Well, it's easy to carve.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to dig it out of the ground. Mining is hard work. For ivory, the world's biggest supplier of ivory throughout history have been elephant tusks. Yeah. And it was so popular that, we had to outlaw ivory to stop them from making the elephants go extinct. There's a couple of other sources of it. Walrus tusks are another thing. You can go up to Alaska and you can get a permit, but you can only collect them from a carcass. If a walrus dies, washes up on the
natural causes.
Of natural causes. Mm-hmm. If it dies and washes up on the beach, you can collect that ivory, but you have to have a permit and you must take it in and record it with Fish and Wildlife up there. If you get caught with it, you had better be on your way to their office. Because there's some pretty serious fines and jail time can go with that. Another one is whale teeth. You can't, I had a buddy who found an antique whale tooth with scrimshaw on it and just posted a picture of it on Facebook a few years back. And the state of California showed up at his house with all but a SWAT team. And he had records of it and everything, but they still confiscated it. It took him about 6 or 8 months to get it back. And it's generally, I don't mess with ivory at all, but these elk's teeth watch fobs, they don't bother me because there's no restrictions on them.
Right. Yeah. So
there's a lot of things out there that are restricted. Over the last couple of days, the electronics guy at my local Goodwill, his name is Chris. He brought out a big stack of new old stock bubble lights. Bubble lights, folks, do not list bubble lights on eBay. They are illegal to sell.
Are those the vacuum tubes, or is that something different?
No, they're little tubes of liquid, and they light up just like any other Christmas light. But they sit there and they bubble. The problem is that liquid that they put in them to do the bubbling is highly toxic. So you got electricity flowing through something that's highly toxic, and then the cat knocks the tree over and a couple of those bulbs break and that electricity hits it and arcs it, sparks it. Now you've got
like a Lampoon Christmas Vacation all of a sudden.
Yeah. So they've gotten modern versions of it that are not banned, but eBay don't care. If you put the two words bubble and lights together, they're going to strike your account and take it down and send you a warning, and you better not try to relist them. I mean, they're as serious about the bubble lights as they are the lawn darts.
Yeah. We had lawn darts as kids, man. We used to throw them at each other.
We used to throw them all the way over the house at one another,
Yeah.
and then see if you could dodge them.
Yeah, same. That's probably why they're banned now.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
probably.
a few of us that didn't make it. Rip. Oh my goodness. That's I love these kind of stories because it helps put things in perspective, especially for like understanding the history of a piece, because that helps you resell it, I think.
Yeah.
Know that,
Do the vintage stuff,
educate.
antique stuff.
Exactly.
You really need to dig into the history of things. For instance, I did a live show a couple of weeks ago on knickknacks.net, and I had this little piece of purple slag glass. Slag glass is where they take like 2 or 3 different colors of glass, just kind of mix it all together and make something out of it. It kind of it picked up the name slag glass because it looks just like the slag or the dross that would be poured off of wrought iron. When you would 200 years ago, people would carry metal refining stuff with them as they traveled across the wilderness. There's bog iron. There's all kind of iron that you can collect from the wilderness. And if you know how to smelt it, which is melt it down and purify it, which means you got to have a flux. And this flux would be made up of things like borax and potash and a couple other things. Anyway, as you're heating this stuff up in the crucible, this flux would would melt itself, and it would pull the impurities up out of the iron. And then you would pour off the dross or the slag, and then you'd be left with the metal. Well, that slag that got poured off would often form a glass, and it would have these swirls and intricate designs and colors in it. So when they started making glass in the same visual aspect, it's got colors and swirls and things in it. They just, oh, that's slag glass. It's actually cullet glass, but it looked like slag, so it just got the name slag. And there are a lot of purists out there today that'll argue with him, no, it's not slag, it's cullet, whatever.
Semantics.
People who made it called it slag, so it's slag.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had this little purple slag glass bowl with a couple of little handles on it, and I got it from a Goodwill real close to a major antique mall that had just changed hands, and a bunch of the vendors had decided they weren't going to stay with the new owners, and they left, and a lot of their booth stuff ended up in the local Goodwill, and this little jar or bowl was in there, and it had a tag on it, 1850s England. And I started researching it. And I never did find out the exact maker, but I know it was made in Manchester, England. It was made anywhere from the 1850s to the early 1890s. And there's just a single source for this particular piece because of some of the markings and the colors of it. But if you go down, if you take the time to go down the rabbit hole and research, a lot of times it leads to a much bigger paycheck. That piece of glass in and of itself, by itself, would not have sold for me for as much money as it did if I hadn't told the story of this thing started life in Manchester, England in the late 1850s to early 1890s and somehow made its way all the way to the Pacific Northwest of America. Did it come over on a wagon? Did it come up on a sailing boat or an old steamer? How did it get here? And just telling the story of it and the story of some of the makers there helped me sell that piece.
Yeah, I think people are more interested in the feelings and the story than they so much are the piece sometimes. And most people love a good story. Which is
that
why
first
I love
partner
your
of mine that
way.
I had shared my eBay account with, it was an antique business. And if a piece came in that didn't have a story, he would make one up. He was really good at it.
Creative storytelling.
He'd be telling these stories sometimes, and I just have to leave and go in the back. I'm like, you son of a...
The fish just keeps getting bigger.
Oh, but he didn't do it to fool people as much as he just did it to...
Showmanship.
It was showmanship, but it wasn't
icky.
Well, it kind of was, but the people would enjoy the story and they would buy the piece. He wasn't really trying to cheat them. It was just part of his personality.
It's like P.T. Barnum, right? When he had all those
oh
stuff
yeah,
put together, it wasn't
that
much
famous
about.
quote of his.
Mm-mm.
There's a fool born every minute, or a sucker born every minute and two to take him. That's an old quote that's attributed to him.
Yeah.
And he never said it.
Interesting.
A journalist wrote it down and attributed it to
They
him.
coined it. Yeah.
Yeah. But he got credited with that quote, and it's not really his.
Yeah. The story,
Not
I
that he
think.
didn't believe that, but
I mean, we sell plush and toys, and a lot of times it's the emotion that people are not going to remember you for
nostalgia.
what you did. They're going to remember you for how you made them feel, right?
Yeah.
So,
if you can make somebody feel something good, if you can tell a story about an item, a history, or connect them to the piece, you stand a better chance of selling it. Now, there are some things that tell their own stories. I mean, you put up an Amazing Fantasies number 15 Spider-Man comic book. Just put the pictures up there. It'll sell itself. But if you take an 1850s piece of purple slag glass, just take pictures of it, and you don't give any background or anything on it, crickets.
Yeah.
So it really helps you. Not only is it good to help sell a piece, the more you know about your markets, the better you will source for those markets.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like I was talking about the colors of glass that are not hot right now. You know not to buy it. If money's tight and you're out there looking for a good, quick flip, don't buy something that's not hot right now.
Yeah, stay on trend. That's good advice always. And unfortunately, trends change quickly. But if you can strike while the iron's hot and get that item right away and flip it real quick, that's why I like live reselling for that.
Yeah.
We don't, the slow nickel, fast dime, whatever you want to do. It kind of depends.
Quick 5 is better than the slow 6, but it'll never beat the slow 10.
Right.
So if you've got a really, really good item, it's a good item, sit on it. The right buyer will come along. If you've got a run-of-the-mill item, don't wait for $6 when you can sell it for $5.
If it's trendy and you're okay, just making a little bit, just let it go and keep it moving. Yeah, that's what we sell on Whatnot. I know you do knick-knack. Crazy lamp lady started her own thing, and power to her,
And she's doing really well with it. She works really hard on it. I haven't had as many shows lately as I should have. I kind of fell off, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so to speak, and get back to selling live a lot. I started out pretty early on Whatnot. When Whatnot first started getting big, I was buying a lot. And then I had a bad experience with a bad seller, and I couldn't get any help from support, no customer service.
The early days were hard.
So, and then they sent me an invite to come be one of their sellers early on when it was pretty hard to become a seller on there.
Back when they vetted everybody?
Yeah, back when they vetted everybody. Nowadays they got, the FBI and customs raiding people selling stolen sneakers. And
yeah, I heard about that.
I'm like, I'm not saying I'll never go back.
I won't say the new person's name because we're just not like that.
I don't even know who it was, but I saw something come across my feed about it, and it's just.
I think it's important for live reselling to have, and we had the Nashville Flipper on last week, and he was talking about fanatics to create non-scam artists, because card breaks and trading cards are hot, obviously.
Fanatics, red hot.
Fanatics, uses a 3-camera system, one on the person, one on the product, and then another one that everybody doesn't see, over you, watching you. That is only for fanatics to be able to see, what's going on. So I wish kind of Whatnot would take that approach, maybe, or even others.
I've got some Pokemon and a few other. I've got some Magic the Gathering and some Topps Chrome Marvel stuff just stuck back. Last year, I don't know anything about Pokemon. I know a Pikachu when I see one, but that's about it.
Yeah, they're hard to discern. There's so many, right? Gotta
I
catch them
follow
all.
this guy on YouTube. I think his name is Short Pocket Monster, Deep Pocket Monster. He's got 2 channels.
Mhm.
Anyway, he does the card breaks just to see what he finds. I kind of like him. And he had a live show one night, and I knew that Pokemon was red hot, and I was out at Costco, and there's this great big 2 pallets stacked up one next to another of Pokemon cards. Let me look them up.
You're a millionaire. You didn't even know it.
I didn't. I had no clue. If I'd have known what I found out later, I would have loaded a cart full. But I just grabbed. There was 2 different types. There was the 151 Scarlet and Violet, and then there was something else. I don't even remember what the something else is. At the time, the Scarlet and Violet 151 was the hot ticket. That's what everybody wanted. There were people. Apparently, there were videos online of people fighting over them.
Oh yeah.
But I just grabbed 2 boxes of them and brought them to the house. I've got them. They're over here in a cabinet behind me. I should already have had them listed. I just, for some reason, I haven't listed them yet. Yeah. But I get on there. I'm like, hey, are these worth anything? And they're like, yeah, but you'll never find them. I'm like, I found 2 boxes a day. There were 2 pallets full of them out there. And they're like, go back and get them. Go back now. I'm like, okay. And I did. I left and went back over there. I'm like, no, they're all gone. They're like, yeah, that's what we thought.
Yep. It's just one of those boxes,
things. They retailed for $34 and something, and they were selling at the time for around $70 a box. Right now, I think they're selling around $120 a box.
Makes sense.
But as things often happen, markets change. The one that wasn't worth as much when I first found them is now the one that's worth more.
Yep. It just, it's fickle. It really is. Those types of collectibles, you got to kind of stay on trend and really get into the weeds with that type of thing and niche down. And there's markets for that if that's the life you're living. Like we're niche down all the way into plush. That's what we do.
I'm really scared of the trading card stuff now, though, the Pokemon especially, because there's been a big movement amongst collectors where they don't like resellers. They call us scalpers. And I think there's a difference between a reseller like me that'll pick up 2 or 3 boxes when there's 2 pallets full of them there.
Yeah.
And then
if you were a scalper, you would have bought the pallet.
2 or 3 guy, they'll pay 2 or 3 people to go in and help them, just take every single thing off the shelf, run to the front and pay for it, and then immediately try to resell them for
in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's a scalper.
I think there's a difference between scalpers and a reseller like me that'll just pick a couple of boxes up and set on them for a while. So
we all have the choice and opportunity. And people say, oh, it's luck, right? And there's no such thing. It's choice and opportunity. You had the choice to pick up those and you did. You had the opportunity to do it, you did it. So whenever someone says that, you're buying up all this stuff, I'm like, well, you still have the same choice and opportunity that I have.
Yeah. I had somebody throw some reseller hate at me a while back. I found this little child's plate. It was made by Tiffany & Co. And it had some little teddy bears and different things on it, and the alphabet and some numbers, and 3 little compartments. And originally it came with a little drink cup, like a little mug. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the mug, just the plate. And I made a little short out of it, or a reel. And some guy got on there, he said something. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do well with it. And he's like, how do you feel stealing from some poor young mother who could have used that? I'm just fine, because the 10,079-cent plates that I left behind, I guess none of them would ever suffice.
I always like those comments, because I feel like taking a video of the bins when they're taking all that stuff and they're dumping it into the trash can.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, well,
just use that as a response.
Because that's what's going to ultimately happen. So that young mother, and I get it, corporate greed, goodwill. There's no goodwill at Goodwill. It's greedwill, right? People understand that that's their model, but it's neither here nor there. But they have the same choice and opportunity.
Yeah, and again, I bought a Tiffany & Co. plate for $6, and there were thousands of 79-cent plates there. I'm pretty sure, because I grew up poor. If my mom was in a store when I was a little kid, when we were dirt poor, and she needed plates, you can bet she was going to pick the 79-cent plates, not the $6 plates. Exactly. So there's some things I won't buy because of situations like that. Now, I don't hold it against anybody to buy and resell anything they want. There's just a few things that it doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy to pick them up and resell them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's things for like baby supplies, you know, diapers or formula or
Diapers
the
are crazy.
bottles and
Yeah.
I don't feel good about buying that stuff and reselling it.
I've seen it.
Somebody in my local
Yeah.
community might need that stuff more than I need the $4 in profit I could get from it.
Yeah. Those vintage Pampers, man. Those vintage
Yeah.
Pampers can get up there. Like I've seen a comp for those for
And
like
that's
1,000.
something different. If I
I'm just
found
like,
like some 1982 Pampers and it had like Darth Vader's face in the corner, hell yeah, I'm buying that and reselling it, because those diapers ain't no good for real use anymore anyway.
exactly. It's just product placement on a prop shop,
Yeah.
right? Those prop folks will come into your eBay and buy up your stuff if it's vintage, just so that they can have it in their show.
One of the other things I don't buy, anything safety equipment related.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't either.
Doing it. No helmets, no face masks, like
No baseball helmets,
catcher's masks.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't. There's too much liability in that. I don't want to buy something, even if it's new in the box. I found it at Goodwill. I don't know if that thing has a flaw in it, and I sell it to somebody, and they end up with a traumatic brain injury because I sold them a faulty helmet. I don't want that on my conscience, so I stay away from anything safety equipment related.
That's good advice. Yeah. And if you're living that life, there are ways of turning that stuff over for a quick profit, like secondhand stores for sports. Like if you want to pick up baseball bats and do that, and you can be successful doing that. But the liability again is not you, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
But there are people out there getting mad because people resell Bibles. I've never found a Bible worth reselling, but I have found a lot of religious stuff. DVDs and VHS, for one. I've done really well selling religious related media.
Audio Bibles do well.
Yeah. Audio Bibles or studies, or like the singing groups, like the Gaithers. Some of their stuff can resell pretty nicely. But yeah, there's some things, and it's just my personal choice. And because I choose not to, doesn't mean I got the right to go tell somebody else they can't.
I find so many Bibles at the bins. It's wild. And
I live in the Pacific Northwest, and
we're in the Bible Belt in Alabama, so you can understand what that's like. Yeah.
Now, if I found a Bible that had dates going back to the 1690s,
like a family
Bible, I might pick that up and see if there was a market for it. But your regular average run-of-the-mill King James Bible that's got a bunch of little notes and highlights in it, I'll probably just leave that behind.
I know Beard King Picker. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Beard King Picker, but he sells Beard King Picker.
Beard King, yeah.
Yeah, he sells just solely books and does a killing with that type of thing. And family Bibles sell well for him. And, say what you want to say about that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it personally.
I don't think there's anything wrong. The people who printed it didn't print it for free. No. The authorized dealer who sold it, they didn't get it for free, and they certainly didn't give it away.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've never, not everybody can be Gideon.
Sure.
The lights bill still has to be paid. Food still has to be bought. Rent and mortgage still has to be paid.
Yep. Those meat prices at the grocery store are wild. We were just talking about that on the last, man, it was crazy. You got to do what you got to do.
Some of those people that get on to me about the religious stuff, I'm like, look, if you want the word of God for free, get up and go to church.
Yeah.
It's open every Wednesday and every Sunday. Get up and go.
Amen. Amen. That's for sure. I can't say enough about that. Get up and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rob, this is usually when we open things up for the
I've been
studio.
Completely ignoring we were having such a good conversation. I forgot to check the chat.
I love it, but since chat is not working, I think because we rebroadcasted this on a different channel, so I think our normal followers are not seeing so we're going to probably have to post edit possibly this video and let people comment and ask questions that way. So we'll go ahead and do that. That way they can get their questions to you. So if you we'll make sure we share our shorts and other things, for this to you, so that way you can share through your social media, etc., and answer those questions. So I just wanted to let you know that. So this is usually that time frame where we ask those kinds of questions, um, and let the audience interact with you. So I apologize about the technical issues in regards
That's
to the stream.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I kind of got this little bit of a plan to go back to doing live shows myself. So
Well,
when I
let me
do,
know. I'll come on.
you'll get the first invite.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I love
Right
this kind
now,
of thing.
I've got enough subscribers to be monetized. Although I
Mhm.
will always gladly accept more subscribers. Hint, hint.
Like and
But
subscribe. Follow
yeah,
Rob.
like and subscribe. Come along for the ride. It might be a bumpy one, but we're going to get there.
Yeah,
But no,
exactly. I love it.
what I need is watch time hours.
Oh yeah,
And
well, I know.
what I do for other people that I follow is when I'm out here in the shop, I used to just put like a short on the computer to keep it from going to sleep. I'm
Long
like, why
form.
am I doing that? I can help some of my buddies out. So
Mhm.
I'll just go to some reseller that I like and I follow, and I'll bring up one of their playlists and I'll hit play and play the whole list. And while I'm working, I'll kind of listen. And every once in a while, I'll come back to the computer and I'll hit the like button, put a little comment in, then I'll do my work and I get up and do some more around the shop.
Yep.
That's kind of
Same.
my way of saying you could do that for me too.
Yep. I do it for you. I don't know if you noticed. I started
I
commenting
have
recently.
noticed.
Yeah.
I'll get like I'll put like a video and I'll get like I don't know 28 watch time hours that day for it. And the next morning, my total watch time hours will go up like 100. And I'm like, somebody's watching my playlist. I wish I
Yep.
could tell them in person, thank you.
Well, you're welcome, Rob. It's a pleasure because you know what? Not only is it, I just want to let you know that there's value in what you're saying. It's not for naught.
I
Because I think
appreciate that.
that's important as content creators that we support each other in that way. There's a lot of work and time and effort that go into it. It's a joy to do for us because we're passionate about it, and
Yeah.
I'll still do it even if I just help one person. I always say, if I can help one person and make a difference in their life, change it, socioeconomic standing,
Mm-hmm.
for their family and whatever purpose that they have going on, we can bring that kind of knowledge to them so that they can start the reselling journey if they choose to do that, or just a
Right.
side hustle, or just a few things to make groceries or a light bill. I'm all
Yeah.
for it, and I
And
don't
it's
mind doing the
fun. It
work.
really is fun.
It is.
And if I I like to show my mistakes. And if I
Same.
didn't already delete the
Transparency.
video clips I made today, you'd see me making some major mistakes, but they were personal mistakes, not reselling mistakes. So I'm like, no, they don't need to see that part of me. I had a rough day and I kind of let my temper get away from me a little bit and I
We're
lost
all
my
human.
patience.
Yeah,
So
we're all human, and we all do it. You got to remember, Rob, give yourself some grace because it's
yeah,
super important, especially along this time of year when we're busy and we're stressed out with
yeah,
all the orders. We're grateful for them, right? But with every blessing, there is also a burden, right?
right.
Always, always. This is just important to remember that for those that are watching that might be feeling that way this time of year, just remember, give yourself grace, give yourself some much needed moments of just deep breaths and just kind of reframe it because I think that's super important.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. But
Absolutely.
it would be a pleasure to come on your live. Anytime you want to do it, let me know.
Yeah.
Um,
But you know, there's two different levels of monetization. At
mhm.
3,000 watch hours, if you've got enough subscribers, they turn on things like super stickers and super chats and that kind of stuff.
Oh, I see.
But you don't become fully monetized for everything you do until you hit 4,000 watch hours. I'm currently
Okay.
a little over 1,600 watch time hours. I really want to get to that 4,000.
Yeah.
But at 3,000, the super chats and the super stickers are great for when you're having a live show. So when I hit 3,000 watch hours, which should happen within the next 90 days or less, I'm going to start doing the lives once a week again.
Hmm. But when you do it and you reach that point, have us back on. I'll come on and tell you guys how I made $250,000 in 2 years as a part-time reseller.
Awesome.
I'll go into the details, and it'll, if we do it right and do some shorts, I'll help you with
I
that.
bet the basics was it was discipline.
Absolutely.
I
I
tell
think it's
people
a
all the time,
core. It's a
by all
core to it.
means, yeah, by all means, bring your
Hmm.
passion, bring your motivation, but don't
Hmm.
depend on them. bring that discipline every day. And when you are passionate or motivated, do more. But have the discipline to do a bare minimum every day. If you do it every day, it'll become habit, just no different than brushing your teeth. It'll keep you on track. And when you do have that motivation and that passion, do more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it afforded us the ability for my wife to do this now full time. So we hustled, educated, reiterated. And now we're seeing some of the success from that, and we're grateful for it. But you're right, dead on. Discipline, focus, determination. You gotta want it more than you don't. That's what I tell people. You really gotta want it, because if you don't, then
I don't even worry about the feeling part of it until after I finish my bare minimum every day. I got to get those bare minimum of 300, or however many listings it takes to get me to 300, but no less than 10 listings every day, even if they're reworked old ones. Once I get that done, I get up, I pull all my orders from the day and the night before. I get them packaged, I get them labeled, I get them in a reseller bag, an IKEA bag, or Harbor Freight has a better bag than IKEA. And I get them loaded up. Yeah, I'll show you. It's bigger. It's a little bit bigger.
There you go.
Than an IKEA bag. It's a little bit tougher than an IKEA bag, and it's actually a little bit cheaper. It's about $1 a piece, and you can go to your local Harbor Freight. and
I love me a good Harbor Freight.
But they're much better than the IKEA bags.
That's awesome. That's a good tip. Yeah, I mean, we started with nothing, and we have 8,000 listings. So
now we've got some comments from the chat here on the stream side of thing instead of the YouTube. I've got two screens. I got this that I'm filming on, and I've got a separate screen over here that I've got.
Treasures. Yeah, Tennessee Treasures is watching us. Ellie
Thomas. I was going to say Confederate Wolf, Drift, S67. Hugs from Brazil, Mr. Aluz. I'm sorry if I pronounce your screen name wrong. I'm terrible at those. We don't get, and Tennessee Treasures.
Yeah.
Howdy,
Tennessee Treasures is Ellie. That's one of our good friends that we met during this reselling journey. We're actually going to meet up with her and her family this Saturday in Nashville, Tennessee. We're about an hour and a half from there. We're right on the Alabama-Tennessee border. So we're going to meet up with her and just break bread, do some thrifting or bins work. And just her daughter was
back to the East Coast side of the country so bad. There's so much more glass. I watch some of the other people that do what we do. And between the yard sales, estate sales, and the thrift stores over there, I'm just foaming. I'm like, oh my God, you passed something I would just be tickled to death to find. They're like, it's all over the place. I'm like, not out here.
There's a ton of it down here. I just don't know what I'm looking for. There's so much. There's so much.
Well, it was mostly made over there, the West Virginia and the Pennsylvania and Ohio and all that area was the glass manufacturing mecca of America. So there's a lot of it there. Blinko is still making glass there. I think they may have even been the one to buy out Fenton's molds. I don't know. I could have that wrong. I know there's another company called Mosser that bought a bunch of molds from a lot of the companies that went out.
I wanted to ask you a question about glass real quick before we break for the day. I know I follow this young man on YouTube. I forget his channel name now. It's eluding me, but he picks up old bottles from different waste sites. So basically he's in Alabama, and he follows like riverbeds.
Antique archaeology.
Yeah, that's it. Archaeology.
I watch him. He's really cool. He wades through the creeks and the rivers and digs them out of the mud. And then sometimes he digs these really deep pits with some of his friends and finds them. He's brought his wife in with him. Yeah, I like him.
I was just curious, like, would you consider those types of bottles when you're out picking?
Oh yeah,
you do. Okay.
Yeah, I look at them. The bottle world is
its own animal.
Take two identical bottles from the same beverage company. One of them is made in Birmingham, Alabama, and one of them is made in Boston, Massachusetts. Well, the one in Boston, Massachusetts is worth $30, but the one made in Birmingham, Alabama might be worth $300 or $400. And it's condition. And that's one of those markets that you pretty much have to be a member of the community to do well in their market. Now, if you luck out and you find like a first year Jack Daniel's whiskey bottle and you throw that up for auction and you've got really good pictures of it, yeah, you're going to do well. But if you just find a basket full of Hutch bottles and they're all scraped up, scuffed up, chipped up, and you try to get online and sell them, the collectors of that kind of stuff can tell pretty quick by how you describe it, whether you know what you're talking about or not.
Right.
And if you don't know what you're talking about, they won't touch your stuff with a 10-foot pole. So it's one of those things you got to not, that's a situation where not only do you have to know your market, you have to be a member of the community. Being a member of the community of any collectible community of material that you're trying to sell, being a member of that community is never a bad thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm in so many Facebook groups for plush.
Yeah,
because you have to be a member of it and know what's trending, and also have the authenticity behind what you're doing.
Right.
I think that's what it is truly.
And it's one of those things where if you do find something and you're not sure and you can't 100% nail the identification of it, if you are a member of that community, you're not just some
Joe Schmo
Facebook person that shows up. What do I got and what is it worth? Ooh, I hate those. In all of the communities, what is it worth?
What have you done? I've done nothing, and I'm all out of ideas.
Let me click on that. They've never posted anything before. Now all of a sudden they're in here demanding I tell them what they got and what it's worth.
They're not a top fan. I ain't got no time.
Yeah. Well, it's not really that, but if you're in these communities and these are things that you buy and sell, don't just be a lurker. I'm kind of guilty of that myself, but I do try to step in every once in a while and say a few things. And I never ask those communities what I have is worth. Right. That's my job. If I can identify it or I can get some help identifying it, I will figure out the worth myself.
Yeah.
When you show up in these communities and just say, and you're a newbie, you're a nobody. They don't know you. What do I got? What's it worth? Go away. We ain't got time for you.
Yeah, you're definitely going to put some backs up.
It's bad form. It's poor etiquette. Don't do that. Just go in and just be nice and say, I have this. I was told that this is the place to come to get an identification for it. Can somebody please give me a little information about it? That's enough. Leave it at that. Don't go saying, hey, I'm a reseller and I want to know what I need to charge for this. Don't do that. Yeah. It's poor form. That's part of your job is to figure out how to price it. But getting it identified is also part of your job. And they are the people that can help you do that part. But the key word there is help. They're not your employees. Don't go in there demanding they tell you what you got and what it's worth.
Well, I'll tell you what, we could do an entire podcast on the etiquette of reselling because it is quite needed. But I would feel to say that likely the folks that need to hear it probably wouldn't listen. Unfortunately,
if most people think I'm a nice guy, and I am because I want to be a nice guy and I like being a nice guy. Some people think when they look at me, oh, he's a nice guy. He's not going to bite my face off if I reach in front of him and knock him out of the way to grab something at the bench. That's the good way to end up in the bottom of one of those bins, but with nothing but your feet sticking out.
Fold you up.
I had a woman reach in front of me today while I was trying to get my camera set up so I was going to film this vase. This woman pushed all the way up against me and reached in and snatched it. And as she's snatching it back, she broke, it had 4 feet on the bottom of it. It's a porcelain or ceramic pitcher, Italian, I think, or it looked Italian, which is why I was trying to film it because I want to show you it looks Italian, but it's really not. And she just reached in and snatched it out of there. And in the act of snatching it out of there, she broke one of the feet off of it.
Oh, no.
I ground my teeth together so hard. I just put my camera down put my hands in my pocket, and they were balled up, and they were balled up. And she circled around me, and she went to grab a platter. It was made by Hull. It's called brown drip glazed pottery. And as soon as she grabbed it, I said, "Yeah, that one's broke too." It was. I'd seen it the day before. Had a big, poorly repaired chip on it.
Wow.
Oh, and she just kind of dropped it to put it back and walked off. I'm like, oh, she don't know how close to heaven she just came.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes, man. It really is.
Yeah,
you turning the other cheek is not an easy thing to do.
No,
being the better person.
You know that parable is often
misquoted.
Told. Well, it's not really misquoted. It's misunderstood. There is a alternate and very realistic reason behind that parable.
Let's hear it, Rob.
Okay. Now, this is not verified, but I think it's every bit as real as the generally accepted reason behind the story. Turn the other cheek is an act of humility, right? It's well, where was that story told and in what time?
Lens.
It was in the Middle East, and it was over 2,000 years ago. At that time, slavery was just a part of life.
Commonplace, yeah.
It's very commonplace. It was just a station in life. Just because you were a slave didn't mean you couldn't climb. But anyway, the idea was not only that, but there's a whole ritual of cleanliness there that extended over all parts of everybody's life. And any task you had to perform that was considered unclean, you performed that task with your left hand. On the screen, people, it looks like my right hand, but this is my left hand.
Right.
So in order to strike somebody on their left cheek or on their right cheek, you would have to use your left hand. So striking them with your on the left side of on the right side of their face with your left hand, you were committing an unclean act. And it was very much considered unclean to touch or chastise physically a slave. So if you slap somebody with your left hand, if somebody slapped you with their left hand, you would turn your other cheek and offer it to them and force them to slap them with the correct hand. So in other words, hey, buddy, I'm not low caste. I'm a little better than that. If you're going to slap me, do it correctly.
Right. Yeah.
Not that I didn't deserve it, but if you're going to do it to me, do it right.
Wisdom and understanding.
It's the same thing with the give them the shirt off your back or give them your coat.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of the things that we take for granted today meant something totally different.
Context.
Yeah. Context is everything.
It really is. And looking at it, I like that because I'm a history buff and I like looking at things from the lens in which it was originally the primary source.
I'm not saying that's the correct.
No, I mean, it makes sense though.
Yeah, it does make sense. It's worth looking into. I think it makes a lot of sense. There's some pretty serious historians that have looked into it, and they say that version of it has credibility, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom in the Bible, anyways. So I wouldn't doubt that there's a lot of truth in that. So better understanding what is actually for context is important.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times it has to do with the context of your personal life, not the context. A lot of people, two people read the Bible, and it means two entirely different things to each of them. And I think a lot of times it's supposed to be that way because it means what it means to the one person who needs it to mean that in order to better their life, whereas somebody else needs it to mean this in order to better their life.
It's interesting
and
how that
works.
works.
I think a lot of it is designed that way.
Yeah.
That's why when people get in these religious arguments, these theological arguments, and I'm like, y'all are arguing about the wrong thing.
Yeah. Basic information before leaving Earth. That's what Bible stands for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's different
Well, I
thoughts on
told
that.
you, man, with me, if I get going down a rabbit hole, sometimes you have to draw me
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
I've
I'll pull you
studied
back.
a lot of different things. Anything that catches my attention, I'll go down those rabbit holes. And when I get to the bottom, I'll grab a shovel and keep digging.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I enjoy about your content on YouTube. Not only just the information, but the deep dive into it. Because I think again, I'm gonna say it, educate, educate, reiterate, and then strike. Knowing that information and doing that is super helpful. And I think more resellers could be better about that. So just know that the content you're putting out has value in the community. Me personally, I'm sure there's others that are wanting to say that to you, but it's my platform, so I'm going to tell you. Man to man, thank you so much for that. We appreciate you
Well, I
coming on the
appreciate it.
podcast. As always, you're always welcome here. Um, you come on anytime and you're ready to go live, you let me know. Um, and we'll get you more subs. And I want to just remind everybody, if you can't be good at it. And we're going to catch you
It's
on the
one of my
next.
sayings.
We're going to catch you on the next podcast. So Rob, hang around. I want to talk to you behind the scenes, but we're going to go ahead and end it here. I want to thank everybody for watching, tuning in, liking, subscribing. Make sure you're following Junk Monkey on all the platforms. Rob, before we go, where can they find you, real quick? Where do you sell?
I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Reselling platforms. I'm on Knickknacks. I'm on Poshmark, at least for now, and eBay. And if you just do a search for Junk Monkey, it comes up with a monkey wearing sunglasses and a yellow background. That's me.
You heard it here. We appreciate you, Rob. Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much again, and we'll catch you on the next one. Man, StreamYard is